carry you. Was I just too old-fashioned for you?
Alrighty, here we go again with another vinyl video. Just a few bits and pieces trickling in. Trade Me's been really good lately. Lots of interesting stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, good in that there's lots of interesting stuff. Not so good in that I just can't afford to keep up with the bidding of some people. Man, they just, you know, there are a lot of people out there that seem to have a bottomless wallet. Lots of Flying Nun stuff been coming up, and I have managed to pick up a few. I think I did show you that recently. There was a couple of Flying Nun records, I think, in my last video, but I did pick this one up. This is a 45 RPM 6-track EP by The Wart from 1989. There you go. So, yeah, stuff like this sells for reasonable prices because it's not so sought after, because musically it's okay, it's you know, it's a classic Flying Nun, but it's nothing to write home about. Yeah, so I picked that one up. There was another EP I was bidding on that unfortunately went for way too much that I could afford, so at the same time, but I picked this up for $20, I suppose. There was another record I picked up with this the same auction, and unfortunately turned out I already bloody well had it, so never mind. Speaking of EPs, I pick up another 3 records I picked up on another Trade Me auction. I finally scored a copy of this, the Spine's first release 12-inch EP, again 6 tracks from 83, 84. I do have their 2 later records that came out after this. They put out 2 LPs, this EP and some 7-inches. They are a fantastic band, absolutely. I love their records, but particularly I think they're the one they put out after this. Really, really great band. They did actually put out a CD last year after like 30 years or plus more. Got back together and put out some music. I don't know what it's like, I haven't heard it. But still, pleased to have that. So that completes my 12-inch collection of Spines records. During that same auction, I picked up this one, an early ECM, which I didn't have, and I got it for a reasonably good price. It's the Stanley Cowell Trio Illusion Suite, ECM 1026 from 1973. So yeah, that's an early one. Really pleased to grab that. It's in really good nick. Plays really well. I've only had it play of it once, but it sounds alright. A little bit more straight up, this one, than some of the other ECMs. Although there is some, a bit of a mix of stuff. I really like it. Really cool. Glad to have it. And also on the same auction, and I'm really pleased to find a copy of this compilation on Edsel records from back in the 80s, the West Coast pop art experimental band Transparent Day. Now this is the compilation. I bought this when it came out in the 80s. This is the record that put me onto them. I do have their first 3 albums on CD now, but I picked this up for fairly cheap, so I was quite pleased to grab it actually, and it's in good condition, plays really well, and it's a great selection of their stuff. Really, really, really love this band. I recently posted on a Facebook page my top 5 60s band. This is number 5. No, sorry, this is number 4 actually. The Beatles were number 5. It was actually the Mothers of Invention number 1, Buffalo Springfield number 2, Spirit number 3, this number 4, and the Beatles number 5. So someone posted on Facebook that they were putting up for auction on Trade Me a couple of quite rare New Zealand records that he reckoned nobody wanted. Maybe that was just a bit of smarter sales pitch to get us, because it turned out that a few people wanted at least one of them. So I was bidding on both of them, and the other one went for $100. So I stopped bidding because, you know, I didn't think these records, they were interesting, but I didn't think they were going to be that great. and I wasn't that desperate to buy it for $100. But the other one I picked up for $20, $25. It's called Somersault, Never Lose the Wonder. It's the only LP, and it came out in the early 80s. It says Volume 1. Then there was never a Volume 2. Okay, it's alright. It's very, very 80s. It's pretty laid back pop. Not commercial, but trying to be, maybe. I mean, they didn't really go far. Not one I'll play a lot of, but hey, it's kind of cool to have it in my collection. The other one was a band called the Bronx, and the funny thing is that the guy that sold me this one, he sent the records to the wrong people. So the Bronx one arrived here that this guy paid $100 for, and mine turned up at the other guy's. So he had to pay for us to send them all back and swap it all back. But I did have a listen to the Bronx, and it was a better record than this one. A little bit more new wavy, but not worth $100. This is a new release, just came out a few weeks ago, and this is what's playing in the background. Echo Children. I am really enjoying this. This is actually a 6-track. I don't know if you call it an EP. It's sort of quite long tracks, maybe, but it's not a long record. I am really enjoying it. You can hear behind me. It's quite laid back. It's kind of folksy, tinged, country tinged, indie pop. Very well done. Very well done. Yeah. So what is it? Echo Children, Toxic Happiness. Great record. And finally, this turned up this week. I'm really excited. So Volume 2 of Strain, Crack and Break. Music from the Nurse with Wound list. Volume 2, Germany. Really cool. So, not your usual run-of-the-mill krautrocky hardcore bands like, the Cans and the News and the Force and all those ones. I have all of those on those Deutschland compilations that came out on, or Deutsch Music, I think they're called, that came out on Soul Jazz. This is a little bit more weird, out there, outrageous, free. There is a couple of tracks that are more krautrocky, genuinely, but Wolfgang Dorner, he's the opening track, and that's a real free jazzy type thing, and he put out the record that came off output is an ECM, and it's a very early ECM, and it's a rather expensive ECM. Really would like to get my hands on that one. Yeah, so really, really great music, really enjoying it. Unfortunately, the record turned up is quite warped. Fortunately, I can play it because I've got a record clamp and a periphery ring on my VPI turntable, and it actually flattens the warp out. But I showed them a video from the people who supplied it, and they are sending me another copy to replace that. Alright, that's me, quick video, bunch of stuff I scored on Trade Me, should be turning up later this week, and some other international records that are arriving. And then I really should tighten my belt a bit and not buy some for a while. Because I had been getting a bit overboard, and I wasn't supposed to be buying many records this year, but hey, that's how it goes. Right, see you later. Happy vinyl hunting next time.